The media were ablaze with excitement when word leaked out that Jim Jones and his longtime friend Chrissy had just brought a baby into the world. After years of speculations and ups and downs in their tumultuous relationship, love and hip-hop fans were shocked to hear that Jim and Chrissy had finally decided to become kids. Away from the drama and cameras that had influenced so much of their life, this felt like a new chapter for the couple, a chance to begin a family after going through highs and lows and everything in between. Chrissy had been there for Jim for years during the failed engagement, and this was all she had ever wanted. After the birth of their child, Chrissy felt a renewed sense of purpose despite the challenges of being in the spotlight. She was no longer just Jim's girlfriend or fiancée. She was now a mother, and the baby symbolized their love and commitment, a future they could finally build without the distractions of the past. The joy of the baby's arrival, however, was as fleeting as it had seemed. Soon after the whispers started, people started to wonder if there was more to the narrative or if this was the happy conclusion that it appeared to be. Strange and unusual behavior has been the fuel for months of accusations regarding Jim Jones and his purported marriage to fellow love and hip-hop star Brooke Valentine. Updates on social networks, the simple question was, did Jim and Chrissy really get married, or was it all a well-planned hoax to conceal a much deeper secret? It all began when Jim shared a photo of him and Chrissy holding their newborn online in his usual display of ostentation. Even though the photo was beautiful and showed everything they had gone through to get here, something seemed off in the midst of celebrating the birth of his child. Jim's past eventually came back to haunt him, and there was a lot of uproar on social media. While some friends and loves were in one corner celebrating Jim and Chrissy's parenting adventure and offering them encouragement there. Among them were the people who saw what Jim was doing and started to piece it together. They were the skeptics, who had been watching everything he did. Prior to Chrissy being pregnant, Jim had been linked to another lady. Brooke Valentine, a singer and love and hip-hop celebrity, appeared on the show as part of the protracted drama. According to some newspapers, Jim secretly married Brooke before reconciling with Chrissy, and their purported union started as a whisper. But as time went on, these charges began to seem more credible. In fact, Brooke's enigmatic Instagram post raised greater concerns. She was shown sporting a ring in one post, and although Chrissy never made any explicit reference to marriage, it was clear that Jim's followers were curious as to whether he had been secretly married to Brooke while still giving the impression that he was committed to her. The public couldn't help but question if Jim Jones had manufactured his marriage to Chrissy in order to keep up appearances while posing as Brooke's mysterious husband and Chrissy's devoted friend. Chrissy didn't want to remain silent for too long as usual because she had already dealt with a lot of drama and now had to deal with something even more important. She was determined to take control of the tale and not let Jim's possible double life collapse. Alongside the producers, Chrissy was open about her experience with the rumors. She stated, "I've been with Jim for years. We've been through so much," in a tone that was a mix of rage and hurt. "This baby is our future together, and he is my partner." After being the subject of public scrutiny for years, Chrissy's patience had clearly run out. As the weeks passed, Chrissy wasn't willing to leave the rumors about Jim and Brooke unanswered because they seemed unusual. They jeopardized all she had worked so hard to establish with Jim. The story changed course when a member of the Love and Hip Hop gang disclosed that Jim had actually been married to Brooke before. It was still unclear, though, if the union was a legal marriage, a symbolic act, or something else completely. Jim and Brooke had been more than casual lovers. It was confirmed. As if to further divert attention from the growing claims, he grew more defensive, and his social media posts got more inconsistent and cryptic. Most of the time, he kept his personal affairs private. Even stranger, the time frame coincided with Jim's continued active pursuit of his relationship with Chrissy. The revelation: create a storm that is stronger on social media. Chrissy made it apparent that she would not tolerate being someone else's backup plan and that the truth was all that counted. Jim's apparent dishonesty infuriated some musicians, who called him a stupid. However, He received support from other bands who understood the challenges in his personal life and the responsibilities that come with being in the spotlight. I've always been there for Jim, and it's obvious that he and Chrissy didn't get along. I expect him to be honest with me if there's more to this story. I'm not here for the games anymore. Will Jim disclose his previous relationship with Christina? Preserve his relationship with Chrissy, or was this the beginning of the end? It became clear as their story developed that Jim Jones's drama was a significant factor. Since Chrissy Lehman and Brooke Valentine lived far away, everyone was waiting for Jim to come clean and prove his loyalty. Whether Jim had lied about his marriage to Brooke or not, one thing was for sure: this was about trust, betrayal, and the hard reality these celebrities faced, not simply a famous child or romance. About Chrissy and Jim, when Jim Jones and his longtime partner announced they were getting married, the news headlines were filled with enthusiasm. Finally, after years of conjecture and gossip, Jim and Chrissy Lampkin became parents. Away from the drama and cameras that had influenced so much of their life, this felt like a new chapter for the couple, a chance to begin a family after going through highs and lows and everything in between. Chrissy had achieved everything she had set out to do. She had helped Jim through their engagement, which never really happened, and the challenges that came with being in the spotlight, but now she was also balancing the arrival of their child. Chrissy felt the baby symbolized their love and commitment, a future they could finally build without the distractions of the past, and a renewed sense of purpose now that she was a mother and not just Jim's girlfriend or fiancée. The joy of the baby's arrival, however, was as fleeting as it had seemed. There had been months of conjecture around Jim Jones' purported marriage to fellow love and hip-hop artist Brooke Valentine because of his peculiar actions and peculiar remarks on social media. The story seemed to end happily, and the whispers began to wonder if there was more to it. The question was simple: was the whole thing a fraud, or had Jim really married Chrissy? It all began when Jim shared a photo of him and Chrissy holding their newborn online in his usual display of ostentation. Their celebration of the birth of their child looked odd, despite the fact that the photo was beautiful and depicted everything they had gone through to get to this point. Debate quickly erupted on social media as Jim's history came back to haunt him. The supporters and admirers who were really delighted for Jim and Chrissy and congratulated them on becoming parents were mixed in with the skeptics who had been watching every step Jim made. After learning that Jim had been linked to another woman in the months before Chrissy became pregnant, he started to piece things together. Brooke Valentine, a fervent hip-hop musician and singer, appeared on the broadcast as part of the developing drama. When some tabloids reported that Jim had secretly married Brooke before reconciling with Chrissy, rumors of their putative marriage started as a whisper. But with time, these tales began to resemble reality.
Like that.
I'm talking to you.
Stop pointing at me.
I'm talking. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you because guess what? We lived in the same house.
You did the biggest part. The biggest part was when you ran to Miami. But I've got behind that. That's selfish.
And how have I been selfish and I had done nothing but give? The moment
I don't give a about the bitch. I'm
what
talking
makes
about how
me
you were selfish.
There was a lot of enthusiasm when it was announced that Jim Jones and his longtime partner Chrissy Lampkin had a child. After years of rumors and emotional turmoil, Jim and Chrissy had ultimately decided to. Despite the fact that the pair had gone through highs and lows as mothers, this felt like a fresh start, a chance to build a family together away from the chaos and attention that had defined so much of their earlier years. For Chrissy, it was the fulfillment of every dream she had.